Not only that, but there's the pea jar, all right? Now, I know on none of the trips we've had one, thank God. But I know we may have gotten very close, I've heard, but we've never had one. But the pea jar is there because we can't always let students stop and go to the bathroom whenever they feel like it, or we would never get anywhere. So, you just kind of carry it with you, right? Any vehicle carrying its own urine is dangerous, all right? You need to watch out. Yeah, I mean, it's bad. But not only that, there's like the cool van, right, with the cool kids on it. This is like the van with like all the band members and the guy with the acoustic guitar, and they're trying to outperform each other on the way down the road. I mean, and if that was dangerous enough, there's the other van, the nerd van, the van I would be on, right? This is the van with the kids who are reading, talking about video games, stuff like that. And the pure angst emanating from this van is enough to drive a car off the road. I mean, it's dangerous stuff. And if you think youth vans are bad, if you think trips on a youth van was bad, let me tell you what's going on with the Israelites now. So if you remember from last week, I talked about Moses. He's taken the Israelites out of Egypt. They've crossed the Red Sea, and now they're going to wander through the desert for, the Bible says, almost over 40 years. All right, that's a long time to go on a trip anywhere, all right? I mean, people grow up and die in that amount of time. It's crazy. So they're traveling along in the desert at this point. I mean, could you imagine, like, if we were, like, walking to Destin, Florida, with everything we owned on our backs, walking all the way there? And that wouldn't even take us 40 years. I know some of you guys, we'd, like, leave you behind after the first couple miles. The buzzards are going to have to take care of you. I don't know. It's going to be bad, right? And you guys like to complain. So, oh, yeah. I would probably take a couple of you out myself. And then I would probably go. But that's what the Israelites were doing. They had everything they owned with them, walking through the desert, following the calling of God, because he's taking them to the promised land. And on their way there, Moses tells them to stop. We're going to stop. We're going to make camp here at the base of this mountain, the mountain of Sinai. And they stop. They unpack all their stuff. They kind of set up camp here. And Moses goes up on the mountain, and he talks to God, like literally, like he's there talking to God. And God tells Moses, he says, these people, I want them to be my people. Now, the whole world is mine, but these people, I want them to be holy. I'm calling them out to be a holy people for me. And Moses, I have a couple things I want you to do that. And he gives them a list of things, some rules, some stuff they need to follow. Moses goes down off the mountain. He goes to the people and he says, look, I just talked to God. God wants you guys to be like his people, okay? And there's some things we're going to have to do. So he calls all the leaders to him. He sanctifies them. He does some rites and some rituals for God. He sacrifices. And he makes them like a holy people. And he said, from now on, guys, you are called. You're called to live a righteous life for God. And then, with that, Moses hangs around a little bit, and he goes back up the mountain. Now, this time, Moses is up there for a while, like a long time. And the Israelites started getting a little worried, right? They started going, I don't know. I mean, we're supposed to be going on the way to the promised land. Why are we just sitting here? Why are we not making any progress? We need to keep moving. We need to move forward. You know what? Moses must have died on that mountain. He must have got ate by a desert bear or something. I don't know. Like, must have fell, broke his ankle, Hunger Games style, like someone killed him. Who knows? Like, Moses is probably dead. And our God has probably forgotten about us. See, we kind of get the same way, right? The first point on your outline is I have good news and I have bad news. Let's start with the bad news. Your calling is going to be difficult. It will be difficult. Often, you'll find that God's calling you to do something crazy, something insane, something that seems like it will never get done. And in the beginning, it may start out okay. You're going to be moving your way towards the goal. It's going to be good. You're going to be making progress, and all of a sudden, you're at a standstill. You stop moving. Something gets in your way. Just can't seem to overcome it. Now, the Israelites, we give them a hard time. We say, like, why don't they ever have any faith? I mean, they saw the Red Sea part. They saw all this stuff. Why do they never believe? But look at your own selves. You know when times start getting hard, the drama queens come out like, oh, why, Lord? They're serving pizza again. Oh. Like, seriously. So we can't really give the Israelites that hard of a time. They're lost people out in the middle of a desert. You guys are going to be called to go into some deserts yourself. It's going to be times you're going to feel distant from God. That's what it's all about. It's about growth. And we grow the most when we're facing hardship. Let me tell you a little story. It's about this girl. I was talking to one of my professors about it, and he knew this lady. After she graduated from school, she graduated with a whole bunch of different degrees, and she wanted to become a missionary. So she didn't just start like going, to next door or something like that. She decided she was going to kind of jump all the way in. She went out to this remote tribe in the middle of nowhere. She was literally 2 weeks away from the nearest Wi-Fi signal. If she wanted to get to civilization, she had to spend 2 weeks traveling by some sort of mode of transportation to get there. These people have never heard of Jesus or the Bible. They never heard of anything like that. And she decides to go there, and she's going to tell them. So she goes there, and she starts living life with these people, and she starts being friendly with them and nice. And it was hard at first, but she's making some progress. And she starts having church service in a building there. She has her first Sunday, and no one shows up. No one. She sets everything up. It looks really nice, but no one gets out of bed and goes. The next day, the next Sunday, no one shows up. The next Sunday, no one shows up. That happened to her for over a year. Not one person showed up to her church. Not one. She lived life with these people, and they never, ever went to her church. Talk about, feeling a little down. A year. I would have given up after like a couple weeks. But a year? But she kept going and kept going and kept having service. She was preparing sermons. She preached to empty rooms, and she kept doing it. And eventually, one person showed up. Just one. One person showed up on that Sunday. It happened to be the village leader. He heard about Jesus. He told everyone about it, and the next Sunday, everyone in that town was in that building. And they all learned about Jesus. They all got saved, and they all got baptized. She even translated their language, and she took the Bible and translated it in their language. They didn't have a written language. She had to make up a language for them, translate the Bible into it, and give it to them. That's dedication. See, she had it. She knew what to do. And we're going to get there. I'm going to tell you the secret, but we still got to talk about the Israelites. So the Israelites feel like they're all alone in the desert. God is not with us anymore. So they go to Moses' brother, Aaron. They go to Aaron like, Aaron, sorry I dogged on you early in the service. I'm sorry about that, Aaron. Aaron, we need gods. Our God has left us. Moses is probably bear poop by now. So we need some gods. So Aaron goes, okay, fine. I want you guys to bring me all the gold you have. Necklaces, earrings, rings, everything. Bring me all the gold. So the Israelites do. They bring all the gold they have, give it to Aaron. Aaron melts it down, and he makes a golden calf. Not like a calf. Although if you're going to make a golden calf, this would be the one. But they make a cow, all right? And he sets it up on an altar, and he says, "Hear me, O Israel. This is your God who's taken you out of Egypt." And they worship him. This cow. They worship this golden cow. They start going crazy. They start having festivals. They sing songs about it. They eat and drink, and they have fun, and they just go nuts about this golden cow. Meanwhile, Moses is not bear poop. He's up on the mountain with God. He's talking to God. They probably got, a road map out. He's like showing them how to get to the promised land, stuff like that. And God goes, Moses, got some bad news. The Israelites are dumb, okay? They're hard-headed. They just don't get it. They have made a false idol, and they're worshiping it and not me. I've just had enough of the Israelites, so I'm going to wipe them out, and I'll make you a nation. Now, Moses goes, whoa, God, okay. Let's take a breather here, all right? He says, come on, God, you don't want to do this. You don't want the Egyptians, you don't want to give them the pleasure of saying that their God called them out in the wilderness so he could kill them, right? I mean, that would be bad. So God goes, okay, fine. That's okay. You take care of it, Moses. You take care of it. This is your problem. So Moses walks back down the hill, and he sees the Israelites. Now, I'm sure you guys, when you were younger, you like to get into trouble. Probably you still do, right? Ever had one instance where, like, you thought your parents had left, like maybe one of them is at work, the other goes to the grocery store, and you're left alone. Maybe you were sick or something, so you're left alone in the house. So, you can get away with anything now. So you start trying to find where all the cookies are or something. You start maybe you're grounded and you start watching TV or something you're not supposed to. You're just getting into all types of trouble, but they're not there. No one's going to catch me. Suddenly, you hear the garage door open, right? You hear the car drive up in the driveway. You're like, what? I mean, it usually takes them like an hour to go to the grocery store. They always call me when they're on the way back. What? And the door opens up, and you know it. You're caught. I mean, your heart sinks to the bottom of your stomach. There's just nothing you can say. They've caught you with your hand in the cookie jar watching Nickelodeon. I mean, that's it. You're done. You're done. I mean, think about how the Israelites felt. They're partying, they're having a good time, and suddenly Moses starts walking down the mountain. A couple of them see him, and I bet he parted them like the Red Sea, just walks through the crowd, he's looking at all of them, just standing there, and the dude flips his lid. He's holding the 10 Commandments, he throws them on the ground, and they shatter, all right? He goes crazy. What he does is he takes their golden calf, he grinds it down into dust, he sprinkles it in some water like some Kool-Aid and has them all drink it. That is crazy, okay? I've never had my parents grind up my Xbox, put it in some water, and had me drink it, all right? But that's what he did. And after that, he gets a whole bunch of them together, he arms them with swords, and has them slaughter 3,000 people. Moses is going insane. He's punishing them for what they've done. But then Moses goes back to God. He goes back to God and he says, God, you got to forgive them. You got to forgive them for my sake. Blame me for this. Just please, don't harm these people. So God says, okay, fine. I'll forgive them of their sin, but they're still got to be punished. And I'll punish them in due time. But they're forgiven. And you would think that would be the end. You would think that was the end of the Israelites. They had, it was over. They ate their gold, which is kind of weird. And God had just given up on them. They were just going to be lost in the desert forever. But that's not how it ends. If you keep reading in Exodus, you see that as they travel through the desert, God is still with them. And that's the good news on your outline. The good news is God will be with you. God will be with you. I love Exodus because, everyone loves a miracle, right? Well, Exodus, God must have been like a busy bee in Exodus because he was performing miracles left and right. Water coming out of rocks, manna falling from skies, quail falling from the skies. It was insane. But God was with the Israelites every step of the way to the promised land. During the day when they traveled, God was a pillar of clouds, and they followed him. During the night, they traveled during the night because God was a pillar of fire, and it was so bright they could see everything around them. And later on, when they would make the tabernacle, the first church pretty much, they would make the Ark of the Covenant, and God's literal presence would reside on top of the Ark. God was with them every step of the way, even though they had failed, even though they felt like he was gone. See, we got to do what the Israelites failed to do. This is the walkaway point. We got to remember why we're called. Remember why I'm called. See, the Israelites didn't remember. They forgot, just like Dory, they forgot why they were called. Why God wanted them to be a holy people in the first place. They had forgotten all that. They'd forgotten God's promise to them that he would take them to the promised land. They walked through the Red Sea. They saw manna fall from the heavens, but they still forgot. You can't forget why you're called. I love the Olympics. Anyone in here really like the Olympics? A couple people? Every 4 years, competitors from around the world gather together for the goal of acquiring Olympic gold. They represent every country on earth. Well, most of them. In events as nuts as like skeet shooting, all the way to discus throwing. Now, this one, particular Olympics, the 1968 Olympics, happened in Mexico City. Tasmania had sent in John Akwari to run in the marathon to represent his country. The only problem was, John was a good marathon runner, but he never practiced in a high-altitude area like Mexico City. Tasmania just wasn't that high in the air. So when he gets there, he starts warming up and stretching, and he immediately starts cramping up. He starts feeling cramps in his legs. He knows this isn't good. But the starting sound is made, and they're off on the marathon. He's running through the marathon, trying to make it. And about 2 miles into this marathon, there's some shuffling forward position, and he gets elbowed in the face, and he falls to the ground. I mean, he was a wreck. The marathon went on without him. All the runners came into the stadium eventually, and they passed the finish line. The medals were awarded, and it was over. The day would continue on. There would be more events that would happen. More people would win gold, silver, bronze. And it would keep going on, and then finally the closing ceremonies would occur at the end of the day to signify that it was the end of the day and everyone would pack their things up. And as the people started shuffling in their seats, gathering all their belongings, the announcer came over the intercom, and he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please find your way back to your seats. The last marathon runner is coming into the stadium." What? No. See, the last marathon runner came in hours ago. The marathon was already over. This is crazy. What is he talking about? But the people obeyed, and they went and they sat back down. And they watched as a small figure of a crippled man started walking into the stadium. As he limped and dragged his foot behind him, covered in blood from head to toe from his wounds. John Akwari had made it back into the stadium, and the crowd went nuts. They started cheering and yelling and screaming as this man starts limping and crawling his way up to the finish line. He finally makes it there, crosses the finish line, and collapses into the arms of the waiting paramedics. Later on, the media would interview John. They asked him, "John, you sprained your ankle. I mean, your knee was like shattered. Why? Why would you endure all that pain and keep going?" And John said, "It's simple. My country didn't send me to start a race. They sent me to finish one." Remember why you're called. God's not calling you to do something today because it's easy. He's not calling you to start. He's not calling you to try. He's calling you to finish. He's calling you out of where you are today to finish the race. You just have to remember why. Why it is that you're called. You're called because there's a hurting, dying world out there needing something, and they don't know what. And we're supposed to show them the answer. It's Jesus Christ has come and died for this world so that they don't have to live in pain. They don't have to live in their sin anymore. Remember why you run. It's because a man died 2,000 years ago because he loved this world so much. Remember why you run. Never forget. Because when you forget, you quit. When you forget, it's over. You have to remember why you run. And today, you know that you've forgotten. Maybe this is your wake-up call. You've known that you've forgotten why you're running. You've quit a long time ago. But today you can pick back up where you left off. Today, you can come down here and you can pray that God reminds you that He is always with you and reminds you about why He's running. Maybe today you never heard of this Jesus guy, or maybe you have, you just don't really believe it. but you want to know that someone's always with you. Maybe today you want to start your own race. And you come down here and you pray that Jesus comes into your life. And if you do that, please remember to mark it off on our card so we can celebrate. The floor is going to be yours. This is your moment to remember why it is that you're running. Remember who sent you. Remember what your mission is. Remember why you're called. Remember who called you.
It's overwhelming. The more I seek you, the more I find you. The more I find you, the more I love you. I wanna sit at your feet, drink from the cup in your hand, lay back against you and breathe, feel your heartbeat. This love is so deep, it's more than I can stand. I melt in your peace, it's overwhelming. I wanna sit at your feet, drink from the cup in your hand, lay back against you and breathe, feel your heartbeat. This love is so deep, it's more than I can stand. I melt in your peace, it's overwhelming. Overwhelming, yeah. The more I seek you,